Hi, I'm Rob Boyd, an English photographer from the UK. I decided to create this podcast series talking to international photographers whose work I truly love. I realised I knew nothing about these amazing people apart from their names and their stunning work. So I created a set of hopefully entertaining questions that finds out who they are and what they love. Hi Rahel, merhaba, hoş geldiniz.
Hi, Rob. So nice to meet you and join you.
If you can start by your name and your Instagram name.
My name is Rahel Aksham. My Instagram is @streetsrnts. That is also short for Ronettes. I don't know if you know the 60s band, the old 60s band. There were like three sisters and they were called the Ronettes. So that's where my Instagram comes from.
Oh, wow, that's so cool. I thought that was just random. I absolutely love that. That's amazing. Have you got a website?
I don't have any websites. I want to. I'm planning it, but I need probably some help with someone who can help me figure out how to create a website because I'm very terrible at things like that. So I'm hoping to have a website soon.
Where are you from?
I'm actually from Turkey, and I'm partially from the U.S. My mother is from Louisiana, and my dad is from Adana, Turkey.
And where do you live now?
Right now, I'm based in Louisiana. It's very hot. It's very humid. To be honest, it's more humid than southern Turkey. It's very, very hot.
So if I visited you, where would you take me to shoot?
Honestly, if you came to visit Louisiana, I would probably take you to New Orleans. It's a very old French city. There's so much to see. It's not like the best, like people are not the best, but as street photography wise, there's so much to see and shoot. So one of my best shots actually comes from New Orleans. But if you came to visit Turkey, I would definitely take you around Istanbul. I think Istanbul is just the best city in Turkey for street photography.
And where you live now, is there anywhere for tourists?
Sadly, no. The town I live in is called Shreveport, Louisiana. It's very small. It's considered one of the bigger cities in Louisiana, but unfortunately, it's not a very photogenic place. There are some maybe small areas where you can photograph, but it's very cliche. It's like an everyday thing you see because this place is small. So I would kind of consider this place as a small town. There's not really much to photograph. But I'll be honest, if you want to do film photography, doing film photography is a better option than to do photography with your digital camera, because you can create very filmic scenes with your film camera. And that's what I have done for the past couple of years. And it just the photos turn out really great. I guess it's because of the tones of it and the way it just makes the city look. But to be honest, with your digital camera, there's really not much to photograph. It's just very plain and boring.
Where is your favorite destination in the world?
My favorite place, honestly, is Edinburgh in Scotland. That's my favorite place because it gives very Harry Potter vibes. And that's what I like. It has moody weather, it has constant rain. And that's something I really, really enjoy. I love rain photography. So that's my favorite city so far.
Oh, I love Edinburgh. The castle and the Royal Mile, especially when the fog rolls in.
Yes, I really enjoy the castles. I'm castles and rain is just one of my favorite things. So I think that's why I love Edinburgh so much, because it just gives that Harry Potter vibes. I don't know if you've seen the movie Sleepy Hollow with Johnny Depp in it. It kind of gives me Sleepy Hollow vibes. And every time I take a picture with my camera, the tones turn out so good, like just the way I love it.
Where would you most like to visit in the world?
I would love to visit. There are two places I really want to visit that I haven't seen yet. Japan is one, and second is Lisbon, Portugal. I'm right now. I'm dying to see those two places. Yes, I'm actually. If somebody could give me a free ticket, I would jump on the plane tomorrow, and I would just like head towards those two places.
Really random question. If you could time travel, where and when would you visit?
If I could time travel, I would like to travel the 19, I would say like 1950s, 1960s. Um, Actually, especially 1950s where men wore those like classic hats and everybody like was dressed very nostalgic. They were just their outfits were very different back then, and I don't think many people dressed like that, you know. But back then it was like very interesting, and um even like there were more neon signs, more like those vintage signs everywhere that just makes any town anywhere look very classic, very interesting. And sadly they're taking away a lot of neon signs, especially in the USA. So I think like I would go back to that time and like take pictures of those classic cars and the people. I think it would be very interesting.
I totally get that with the hats and the umbrellas, 100%.
Right. And classic cars.
Amazing. So if you could shoot anyone in history, who would you shoot?
If I would photograph anyone, it would be Vivian Mayer. She is the she was the unknown street photographer. And they just now have discovered her. I think they discovered her back in 2010. And so nobody knew she was a street photographer. And so she secretly like did street photography, and she was also a nanny. And so she has very little photographs of herself. She did like self portraits of herself by using like a mirror. But I think I would like photograph her and just, do her the biggest favor because, I don't think she allowed anyone to photograph her, or maybe she didn't have the time.
Oh, I love that Vivian Mayer documentary with all those undeveloped negatives and that huge archive of work.
Yeah, she was a very incredible photographer. Like, I don't know where she learned all those techniques, but she was very talented. Like, it just really surprised me.
So, tell me a fun fact or a story about yourself.
Oh, a fun fact. I think the fun fact about me is I've taken like a lot of photos right in front of a person's face without asking them. And I did get a little bit into trouble, especially in Istanbul. Like, people don't like that, especially the elder people. I photographed an older lady in Istanbul, and I didn't get her permission, but the lighting in front of her face was perfect. Like, there was like a half shadow and half light. And she was covered, and I said, I have to photograph her. I don't care if she gets mad. So I immediately photographed her, and she said, why did you take my photo? And she was so mad. And like, I had to tell her in Turkish, like, oh, I wasn't taking a photo of you. I was taking a photo, but the scene behind you. Because I didn't want to delete the photo. And she said, I'm going to see it. And she's very old. So I showed her different photos from my camera. And she said, okay. She said, don't do that again next time. And then I said, okay. And I kept the photo, and I actually have it on Instagram. So I posted it.
Wow, that's really great. That's amazing. Another weird question. What's your favorite word?
I think my favorite word so far is nostalgia, like nostalgic. I think that just expresses me a lot. I just love it.
Perfect answer. That's why I love that question. We find out so much about the person just from one word. As this is an international podcast, tell me something, a word or something I may not know.
Oldu oldu, olmadı çay içeriz. It means uh, if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't happen, we'll drink tea together. Or we'll drink tea. Oldu oldu means oldu oldu, like if it happens, it happens kind of the thing. So when you put this in a sentence, oldu oldu means like it happens, or if it happens. Olmadı means if it doesn't happen. Çay içeriz. Çay is tea. İçeriz means we'll drink it. We'll drink tea is basically what it means. Çay içeriz. Yes. So if we meet in Istanbul, çay içeriz.
What moment did you realize you could take a good photo?
I was dating this guy who was a photographer. He was like a portrait photographer, and he was very talented. He was like he did cinematic portrait photos for people. And so we were dating, and then he left me for some other girl who did photography. So this was back when I was like 19. This was a very long time ago. So keep in mind, I'm 35. So I was like very mad. And so I said, I'm going to be a better photographer than him. So I picked up a camera and I started, practicing. But as I was like practicing every day, I realized, oh, I actually love this. And so instead of making him jealous or try to be better than him, I pursued myself to teach myself and, start practicing. And ever since then, there were like some years where I stopped photography, but then I picked up my camera again and started to train myself. So ever since then, I just fell in love with photography and like any kind of camera. So that's my story about that part.
Oh, amazing. I love that. That's the best reason ever. And you do it so well, of course. What's your favorite 3 photos you've taken, and why do you love them?
One of my 3 favorite photos is I took a picture of one of my friends who used to live in Edinburgh, and we were inside somewhere in Edinburgh, inside this building, and there was this alleyway, and there was stairs at the end of the alleyway, and I asked him if he could use his umbrella and go up the stairs. And I used my 85 millimeter Sony lens, and I took his photo. And when I edited that photo, I was like, wow, this is actually, I think, my favorite photo ever, because it gives like a Harry Potter vibe, something mysterious. It also like gave me Sleepy Hollow vibes because of the tones and the architecture around it. So that's one of my favorite photos that I've taken so far. And my second favorite photo is, one of them is from Chicago. I took a photo of so the trains in Chicago is like really up high. It's like usually on a bridge kind of thing. And so there was like this metal piece, like this circular metal piece, and I put my lens right there where you can kind of see the metal piece around. And while the train is coming, the rider of the train, he stuck his head out, and I took his photo right there. And then I kind of like, when I was editing it, I cropped it, and perfect shot because he was looking through my camera from way afar, and I don't know how he saw me. So that's like one of my favorite photos. There's a very famous in Chicago, there's a very famous train spot where you go inside this car garage, and right in front of you, we call it the S curve. So the train goes like an S curve. And so it was golden hour moment, and the buildings behind the train is like made out of glass. So when the sun pops up, you can see it through the reflections. And when the train was coming, it was like in a shape of an S curve. I was really happy with that shot. That was like I think I took that like 3 years ago. So that's got to be one of my favorite shots right now.
What advice would you give to new photographers?
Advice is practice. Keep practicing. No matter how bad you are, or no matter how good you are, even though you're good, or even though you're a beginner, keep practicing. That's like the best thing any photographer can do.
And finally, what's next and what your photography goals?
I think it's like more traveling. I'm making more travel plans for the future. My biggest plan, I think, is to travel around the world and photograph every country. I want to be able to tell a story from every country I go to. And after that, my next goal is to hopefully create a book and just tell my side of the story of the photos that I've taken. I'm not very good at expressing myself, so I like to express myself through the photos, through my photos. So when I feel sad, I like to take pictures of people that look sad. Or if I feel like I'm very cheerful, I like to take pictures of something with beautiful colors, beautiful tones, something like that, you know. So that's my goal, is to have up my own book and to, share my side of the story in the future.
Oh, I definitely want to see that. That'd be amazing.
Thank you.
Well, thanks so much. I absolutely love your work. I tell you that all the time, I know. But just keep producing your magic, and thank you again for being my guest.
Thank you so much for inviting. It was nice meeting you and chatting with you.